So now that Absolute Batman number 14 is officially over, I figure now we can have an actual conversation analyzing just how strong and impressive Absolute Batman really is in the grand scheme of the Absolute Universe. I wanted to do so for a while now, but I knew there was going to be a big shift that takes place in the showdown between him and Absolute Bane, so it was best just to wait. With all the information we have at the moment, I figured that this would be no better time than now. For complete transparency, at the time of recording this video, we are using all the information presented between Absolute Batman number 1 through 14, Absolute Batman Annual number 1, key details from Absolute Evil, and some comparisons from the main DC universe that I think are relevant to the conversation. Just be mindful that as the Absolute Universe continues to develop, Absolute Batman will likely display even better feats compared to what we'll be covering in this video. If you're new here, I appreciate you subscribing to the channel if you like what you see, and check out the other content I have currently. And if you like this video, then let me know if you want similar breakdowns for the Absolute Trinity and for the other Absolute heroes as they get more development. But now let's jump right into the discussion. When looking at Bruce's attack potency, durability, and taking into account his absurd feats of endurance, he is as of now scaling anywhere between wall all the way to large building level on a more conservative level of scaling, but depending on how you scale Absolute Bane, he might reach those city block to multi-city block ranges on the higher end. He has been able to slam Absolute Black Mass through the walls and floors of his yacht with little difficulty. He's strong enough to lift up one of these stronger members of the Party Animals gang and slam him down with enough force that it leaves a crater where he landed. He's also capable of flinging lesser members of the gang into buildings. The force of his swings with his battle axe are strong enough to cut through Bane's flesh, considering that Bane entered the fight with greater augmentations compared to when he last fought Batman and survived half a skyscraper falling on top of him, as well as being slammed with the Absolute Batmobile, which is a heavily modified Earth mover with built-in jet engines to boost its speed. Bruce being able to tear into Bane's flesh like this with his individual strength is quite impressive. It's important to note that although Absolute Bruce Wayne has no superpowers, his durability and endurance is without question superhuman based on his current feats. His suit is strong enough to tank bullets from multiple forms of firearms such as handguns, assault rifles, and military-grade sniper rifles. He has survived the explosion of an RPG being launched at him inside of an office room. He has survived being set on fire, falling hundreds of feet from a skyscraper, landing on top of a car, having that car explode due to the ammunition launched at him by the Gotham City Police, and then get run over by a police cruiser, only to literally walk it off and prepare for battle against Black Mask. He has been slammed through a wall by absolute Mr. Freeze while under the effects of severe hypothermia from being frozen by freeze moments prior. He has survived multiple surgeries, which many scientists at Arkham believe to be fatal, which included extensive brain surgery as well. And currently his most impressive feat to date is survive getting ragdolled by Absolute Bane. As stated earlier, Bane entered that fight at the highest level his body has ever been at. Bruce not only endured being slammed into the ground multiple times by Bane, but it's stated by Dr. Arkham that Bane has surpassed all the limits they ever thought possibly for his body, and Bruce then proceeded to endure Bane slamming down on him multiple times with enough force it leaves a giant crater in the stadium arena where they were fighting. And it's important to highlight as well that Bruce had all the venom in his body removed 2 days prior to the fight with Bane, meaning he accomplished these feats against Bane with absolutely no enhancements. This is just his raw physical stats. So again, depending on how you scale Bane, Absolute Batman could be in higher categories depending on your perspective, and possibly will achieve those higher categories with 100% certainty given how the rest of the story is written. We really don't have any official confirmation as to how Bruce became so strong during his fight with Bane. What I say next isn't 100% confirmed and is just my personal headcanon, but it's likely that the surgeries performed on Bruce while being held captive at Arkham raised his physical stats to a great degree, considering how Bruce was getting pretty much bullied by base Bane multiple times to leveling up so much he is tanking multiple attacks from a further enhanced Bane with maximum venom infusion and who has surpassed all of his limits as stated by Dr. Arkham while beating on him. This is the only reasonable explanation for me personally that explains the huge level up in stats, because he really hasn't had any time to train. He was knocked out for 20 days after escaping Arkham, and the battle with Bane took place only a couple days afterwards. No amount of prep time given his resources would explain the physical stat jump. His stats being raised via the surgeries makes the only reasonable explanation in my opinion. Otherwise, Absolute Batman might actually be a Saiyan in disguise and grow stronger every time he fights and survives a hard-fought battle. Looking at all of Bruce's skills and the equipment that he has either personally built or modified, it's astoundingly impressive, especially given that he does not have the skills, resources, and technology of the main universe Batman. It is stated that Absolute Batman has a genius level intellect on numerous occasions in the story. At the very beginning of the story, Alfred stated his physicality could have easily made him into a top athlete, and considering that a heavily injured Bruce, who as said prior, fell multiple stories from a skyscraper, survived an explosion and being run over by a car, defeated Black Mask in a 1v1, someone strong enough to defeat a world-class MMA champion, this evaluation by Alfred is consistent. And speaking of MMA, it would be impossible for this world's Bruce Wayne to have knowledge of every fighting style like his main universe counterpart, but he is quite effective with his blend of martial arts, which could be more extensive. We have no way of truly knowing all the martial arts he specializes in, but at the time of recording, it encompasses Muay Thai, Shotokan, Savate, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, with also a heavy focus on striking martial arts, which we can likely assume involving boxing and possibly Kempo. He is an excellent practitioner of knife combat as well, using the knife ears of his suit. It's stated that the party animals grew to the size where it can take on a small militia just for Batman to easily bulldoze through them. His martial prowess is so good that for 2 straight weeks, Bruce tore through all of Gotham's criminal underbelly, attacking the main crime families of the city after his friend Waylon Jones was kidnapped and taken to Arkham. During this onslaught, Absolute Batman beat up so many people, it's stated that every hospital in Gotham ran out of ambulances, and the city ran out of riot share vehicles that they were using as replacements for the ambulances, to the point that they had to carry Batman's victims on rickshaws. At the time of recording, Absolute Batman doesn't have too many speed feats that are outrageous, but he has dodged bullets multiple times from various ranges, and due to reacting to Absolute Bane, who is stated to have been given a speed increase due to the Venom, this would likely put him in the Supersonic Plus categories of combat speed at the bare minimum. As I said earlier, it's entirely possible for Bruce to get better feats. We are only 14 issues into the story after all. Despite lacking the kind of training journey that the main universe Batman was able to go on before returning to Gotham and becoming the Dark Knight, Absolute Batman is stated to have acquired knowledge in several categories: applied mechanics, chemistry, criminal psychology, military theory, and sociocultural history. He has an understanding of Gotham City's power grid, water department and sanitation, and macro and micro public policy, as well as being a civil engineer of the city. As previously mentioned, he has either outright created his own tech, such as the bat thumbs that he uses in battle, or the homemade jet engines he has modified onto the Batmobile. Absolute Batman has also built several bases all over Gotham rather than having one main Batcave, allowing him to be very flexible and adaptable, which is stated to be a key vision on how he wants his idea of Batman to operate. In terms of his remaining equipment that hasn't already been mentioned that he carries into battle, we're going to speed run what he currently has available to him because it is quite extensive. He has his suit equipped with spikes, he has explosive traps that can be used against large numbers of enemies or enough to blow up a skyscraper, an augmented motorcycle, various chemical compounds, the Earth Mover Batmobile is equipped with extra reinforcement as well as mini bat projectiles with electric charges to blow away tires, a wrecking ball, and an aquatic/amphibian mode that he can use to move underwater. He uses cheap items modified to be effective out in the field, such as an RC car with a bottle jack attached to it, batarang explosives, and the Batsuit is stated by Dr. Arkham to have numerous booby traps equipped to it in the event someone tries to remove his suit. Batman also has contraband within his body as well in the event he loses access to a suit, which includes tear gas pellets, acid pellets, explosive pellets, sedative pellets, hallucinogenic pellets, a lockpick kit, blow darts, finger, toe, and knuckle blades, push and trench daggers, throwing shuriken, and somehow a collapsible war club. But above all else, Absolute Batman's greatest weapon is prep time without question. Just like all the other versions of Batman, adding in prep time can make even the most impossible situations look like child's play when executed properly. It's stated by Alfred that all of Batman's activities around Gotham are calculated and that he plans for everything and uses all of his surroundings in battle to give himself a greater advantage. He has multiple instances of doing this in the story, but I think the best display is without question against Bane. In their first encounter, it's stated by Alfred that he did not give Bruce any information about Bane, so needless to say, he got his butt beat pretty badly by the giant behemoth, but with more information as to who he's facing, Bruce was able to come up with a plan that forced Bane to push past his previous limits in an effort just to defeat Bruce. A feat like this is considered unprecedented in the world of the Absolute Universe, but I think it's best if I elaborate further to truly highlight why this is such a big deal. Absolute Batman's skills really shine when we look at things from the wider world of the Absolute Universe. For example, Absolute Batman blatantly scales above Absolute Alfred Pennyworth, who in this universe is a highly trained special operative who goes around the world participating in dangerous missions. He has been an active agent for over 40 years who prides himself off of his stealth and yet never realized that Bruce was already aware of Alfred tailing him for some time. Keep in mind that Alfred was able to hunt down Absolute Joker and for what he says was super close to apprehending him if his handlers did not call him off the mission. submission. We're going to talk about Absolute Joker later, but this is indeed quite an accomplishment considering just how dangerous that demon really is based on what we currently know about him. When we take a look at his encounter with Absolute Black Mask, we know that Roman Sionis is the leader of a paramilitary group that serves some of the most powerful people on the planet, including Absolute Joker. Black Mask is significant because due to Absolute Evil, we know he was the first step in getting Absolute Batman to try and quit being a vigilante, which failed, making him a higher priority target for Absolute Joker and the Absolute Justice League, with it being stated in this issue that they aren't even entirely sure Absolute Batman is a human and that he literally redefines what a human can be in their world, saying he moves and vanishes like a ghost. Looking at Absolute Mr. Freeze, it can be easy to write off Bruce's efforts as just a guy fighting an overpowered monster, but we have to again remember that Bruce's body was way off its game due to Mr. Freeze's device that almost froze Bruce's body and gave him hypothermia, with Bruce stating his opponent was too fast for him at this very moment due to the hypothermia, implying that he'd have performed better if his body wasn't nerfed. When we take a look at Bane and the other enforcers of Absolute Joker, Absolute Batman continues to shine. When trying to replicate the same procedures that created Absolute Bane, it's said by Alfred that most people die during the procedure or the venom ends up poisoning their bodies and then kills them. In this world, there are 3 other subjects that have gone through the same procedures like Bane and Batman, that being Absolute KG Beast, Absolute Deathstroke, and another individual from the Middle East. I don't believe this individual is Ra's al Ghul due to him being a main antagonist in the Absolute Superman storyline, as well as being a main member of the Absolute Justice League, so we'll have to see who that individual is later. But regardless, the 3 of them were unable to handle the procedure to the point that they reached the level of Bane, but they were able to evolve in their own specialized ways. The fact that Bruce survived the same procedure as Bane makes him automatically a physical marvel of the Absolute Universe when it comes to humans, and even though Bruce himself does not scale to Bane at his best, the fact that Bruce was able to fight Bane to the point where he pushed him beyond his limits already puts Absolute Batman near the top of the hierarchy for the humans and super soldiers of this universe. Absolute Bane was actually stated to know every form of combat ever, and that the venom made it to where his mind can hold entire libraries worth of information in regards to martial arts, weapon usage, tactics, and all of history's battles. And considering that Bane is Joker's personal enforcer, someone who is in the same ballpark as Absolute Hawkman when trouble for their organization needs to be quelled, Absolute Batman defeating Bane is seen as a near impossible task, let alone forcing Bane to reach levels that never thought his body could reach. Batman's achievements are actually insane when looking at the greater context of the Absolute Universe. But now it's finally time to discuss Absolute Joker and in turn, Absolute Batman's future scaling. From the very first issue, it's been hammered home that Bruce's journey in this universe has him on a one-way trip to fighting against Absolute Joker. And as such, in order to rise to the occasion and defeat Joker, Absolute Batman will have to become even stronger in order to defeat this giant threat. To put things in perspective, Absolute Joker essentially has all the advantages we've seen the main universe Batman have. It should have been made very clear in Absolute Evil, but Absolute Joker was created to be a dark reflection of the main universe Bruce Wayne, down to his appearance and intellect. So much so to the point that Absolute Joker has underwent the same extensive training that the main universe Batman underwent while preparing to become Gotham's Dark Knight. It's said that he has trained with well-known individuals and groups in the Batman mythos such as Henry Ducard and the League of Assassins. However, the key difference is that after Absolute Joker gains all the knowledge he can acquire from these various masters and organizations, he kills them. Like, not even exaggerating, it's stated he flat out kills them, which is absolutely insane, no pun intended. Given the amount of training that the main universe Bruce acquired, we're talking about some of the most dangerous people on the planet, or people with levels of knowledge in a particular field that can't simply be replicated through traditional training. To put things in perspective, the main universe Batman has fought against the League of Assassins on numerous occasions, but there has never been a time to my knowledge where Bruce was able to completely dismantle the entire league single-handedly. At the time of recording, we don't know how exactly Absolute Joker did it, but again, it's said by Alfred that Joker killed the entire league, and if they were even remotely close to the main universe counterpart, this is indeed a very impressive feat. Also, I don't think people really understand the gravity of the situation. It's entirely possible that Absolute Joker could have trained with the absolute Tibetan monks, which is horrifying. Like, I can only imagine what kind of bullshit this version of the monks taught this demon in human's clothing. But getting back on track, all this really means is that when you look at Absolute Batman in the future, this version of Bruce will be going head to head with a dark reflection of the main universe Batman, who simply has gone on the same kind of training journey, acquired all of his skills, has immense resources and technology, with a cherry on top being he has a twisted and sinister monstrous and demonic form that likely it further enhances all of his stats. This isn't me saying that Absolute Batman will scale above the main universe Batman per se, but by the time the story of Absolute Batman is completed, he will indeed reach a level where he might unironically be a genuine rival to the main universe Batman we all know and love, depending on how exactly Bruce handles these threats. Scott Snyder has stated that Absolute Joker is the evilest character he's ever written, meaning he is somehow worse than the Joker he wrote in the main universe. The same Joker so twisted that he cut his own face off and wore it as a mask, and, which is really crazy, someone more evil than the Batman Who Laughs, which if you know anything about that entity, saying Absolute Joker is more evil than him is flat out insane. But that's pretty much all we have at the moment. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching the video. Absolute Batman has cemented himself as one of my favorite takes on Batman without question. We already know that we're going to be learning more about Absolute Joker in issue 15, and we have confirmation that Bruce will be going up against Absolute Scarecrow and even Absolute Poison Ivy in the future. He will also be teaming up with Absolute Wonder Woman soon, further expanding the world of the Absolute Universe. All that really means is that Absolute Batman will continue to grow stronger and stronger and perform even crazier feats as the story progresses, and you bet I'm going to be covering them one video at a time. If you liked the video, I appreciate you letting me know in the comments below. Also, if you want me to eventually cover the strength of Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and the other Absolute heroes, let me know. I'll be more than happy to, because I'm enjoying those stories too. And if you enjoyed the video, I appreciate you subscribing for more videos in the future. Hope you have a great day, and please stay safe. Peace.